Okay, we are back. And the question that I had to ask was about the receiving and actually letting things in as a
Yeah,
woman. And then, you know, I'm just feeling into this infinity wave, like the power of like when we can really let that in and then reciprocate, it's like a whole new world.
it is. It really
How do we
is.
let it in?
And then, well, I
Yeah.
think what we talked, because we touched on part of it, right? Which is just that sovereignty of knowing I get to titrate this, right? Like I
Yeah.
get to this flow. Okay, it can be fast and a lot, and I can say
Mm,
this, but not this, right? Or I get to say no, no, thank you to this, right? So I think it's first that confidence and sovereignty and self knowledge, which takes time, that takes work. We don't live in a culture that like nourishes that and exemplifies that, right? But that's the first
right.
piece, right? Is just having self confidence of like, they can generate and I can say no. Like I have a client now where it's like,
Mhm.
and same thing, so many women struggle. And he's like, let's go away for a weekend. Let's go for the holidays. Right. And she's like, ah, and she's getting
That, yeah.
overwhelmed. And it's like, you know, it's on her like a meme on all the ways you can say no thank you, right? Like you can say no thank you or not right now, or could we revisit this in a month, or yes but I'm worried about my dog so I can only go for 2 days instead of the week, right? Like there's all these ways that we can co-create with whatever energy is being generated in our direction.
Mm,
So
I
I think
love
that's a
that.
big awareness that we miss because of our culture and our upbringing, right? And our
Hmm.
families of origin, right? Like I wasn't taught
Hmm.
this in my family of origin. So it's really empowering to say, wait, the receiver doesn't make me, I'm not, being the receiver doesn't mean I'm at the effect of them. It doesn't mean I'm like at their whim. It doesn't mean that just because I'm the receiver, but as the feminine counterpart, that's somehow less powerful.
And
There's
we
the
have the
bells
church
again.
bells again. Yes. I love those bells. Um, okay, I love this. And for me in the past, and I'm talking like uh, at least 3 years ago, I want to give myself some credit, right? So like the, in
Oh,
within the
well, in the
sacred,
past.
yeah. Let me just. I had some distance from that, but on this sacred remembering path, on this path of yeah, healing from those past traumas like we were talking about, and past traumas with masculine, and
Mm-hmm.
like traumas inside of relationships that were supposed to be safe and weren't,
Yeah.
right? So like all of those kinds of things. And then also being on this path of remembering and the sacred feminine, there was, I think, what I did was like an overlay of some sort of spirituality or spiritual explanation of men coming into my life. And then I thought I had to receive it. Like because it was
Right.
being offered, because they were
Right.
there, they were offering, they were proclaiming. I was like, well, I
Mm-hmm.
better receive it then, you know? And that
I do.
discernment, like I wasn't practicing that, but I was also doing the spiritual overlay thing.
Tell me about the spiritual overlay.
Thinking that, it must be the next, like the soulmate or like
Oh,
making spiritual
the
meaning
fantasies.
of yeah, let's talk about that. Because you talk like, so if we are light workers and luminaries, then you get these ideas like there's a twin flame for you. There's only one partner for you.
I'm with my
There's,
twin flame.
okay. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, let's go there.
Twin flame just means your sacred partner in your highest timeline. But the thing is, right? People say, well, if it's my twin flame, why are we fighting so much? Because you didn't get to your highest timeline in the realm of relationship. You didn't grow in that area yet. You're still learning. And so your relationship with your twin flame is gonna meet you where you're at.
Right. So say that again. Your what in your highest time? Like the best relationship that you can possibly have in your highest timeline.
It is my opinion and
That's how you
experience
define it? Yeah.
that the twin flame is your sacred partner in your highest timeline. But if you're not in your highest timeline, then your twin flame will trigger the fuck out of you because you have to grow so you can get to your highest timeline.
Okay. And then would you also say that there are various partners on various timelines, like opportunities for growth?
Absolutely.
Or
Yeah,
like
I mean,
on your way to the highest timeline, like there are various
yes.
partners that
Yes.
may be
And I
the
call
partner
that
of
the
the
man
moment.
ladder. I call that the man ladder. I have a name for it because it happened to me. It happens to all my
Yes.
clients, right? And
Totally has
so
happened to
that's
me. Yes.
exactly what it is. Yeah, I call that the man ladder. So it's basically like if we do set that intention, like I'm dating for sacred union, that's what I'm up to creating, right? Then we're
Yes.
using our creative free will to co-create with the universe. So then the universe is going to bring us like, okay, well, learn about saying no. And that's going to be the pearl with this
Yes.
guy. And then the next rung is going to be like, okay, wow, he had the really juicy masculine energy I want, but he didn't have something else, right? So next rung, you got to, like, that happened to me right before I met my husband. It was like this guy who was so like European masculine, like put his body in the between me and the cars when we would cross the street. And I
Yeah.
was like so head over heels about him because he like, we had things in common when I thought this, right? We had we both spoke Bulgarian. We both spoke Spanish. We both love flamenco. I was like, he's going to be my kid's dad. I know it. Meanwhile, this guy was like, your boobs are lopsided.
What?
Yeah, that's what he said. He goes, your boobs are, he was like, one's bigger than the other. And then that kind of thing, that love plus abuse blueprint, that was my
Yes.
blueprint. So I was like,
Yes.
this is okay, I guess. But I'd started growing enough that, that's what he represented. He represented me, that the rung on the ladder of me finally saying, fuck no, I don't care if you're my soulmate. If you speak the same languages as me, if you like the same things as me, and if you are the masculine energy that I dream about, you are still a fuck no because you are including abuse with your love. But that was the man ladder. That's exactly what you just talked about. So yeah, he taught me that.
Yeah.
And because of him, literally, because of that big fat ass no to a very common pattern I had said yes to all of my life, my husband was like 3 weeks after that. I met my husband. I was ready for the universe had hatched me out of my sacred union egg, and I was ready for my sacred partner because of that rung. That was like one of the last rungs on my ladder.
Right. So when you work with women, I'm imagining that with your guidance, they're like, it's like a couple of dates and that they're discerning that rung on the ladder versus like a couple of years of their life.
Yes, ma'am. That's
Yes.
exactly it right there, right? That's how we
Yeah.
do it because they have it. They have a master. I don't want to be, but I mean, I am. I'm a master. I'm 40 fucking 7 and I'm going to say it. I am a master. Am I perfect?
right.
No. Is there things I don't know? Yes. Do I claim that I'm a master in this realm? Yes, I do. I claim it. So yeah, absolutely. We save time. We save so much time because they have somebody who can see it and be like, let's do that healing. Let's move the energy right there. Bam, done. And then suddenly she's like, oh, I don't really think about him anymore.
Yes.
So then we're next. And we say no to, right? Because one of the things I write about is like, why? Because we stay with that guy. Like, what if I had stayed with that guy that said my boobs were lopsided? That would have been what I would have done previously. But I said no.
Yeah.
And then I remember one time I called him like, oh, I'm in your area. And then he was like, call me back. Like there was a minute, call me back. And then I had kind of like driven past his house and like moved along like towards my house. And then he was like, oh, well, I'm sorry I missed your call. Oh, you're close. Come anyway. And I would have, but I was like, no, I already passed your house.
Graduation.
And I graduated that shit.
Yes.
I graduated that shit.
Yes. No, I'm not available anymore. Thank
Nope.
you.
And that
Right.
was like the beginning of the end with him. And thank God,
Yeah.
because had I not ended that, had I not
Right.
said next, I wouldn't be with my husband.
Right. Right. How did you know it was your husband?
Well, the first date we had, I liked him. I was like, I had a good feeling about him. There
Mm-hmm.
was no, I don't believe in like fireworks. I don't, I always say like women say that, but that's like in hindsight. Like in
That's
hindsight
early
now,
on
I
the
would be
ladder.
like, yeah, it's like now in hindsight, I can be like, well, of course he was the one, of course, right? Women
Right.
tell us that all the time, and that's another fantasy where it's like
Right. Right.
20 years later, you're like, well, of course. But when you were there, remember, you didn't know when you were in that date. You didn't know. You might have had a hunch. I had a hunch. I was like, okay, I really like him. This is going
Yeah.
good. I have a good feeling about him, but I don't know anything about him, right? So date two,
Yeah.
date three. And then I think it was around like the ninth date or so. Like I was a realtor at that time and he came to my open house and then we were going to go for dinner after. So like we were putting away like the realtor signs and all that. And I just had this feeling. I'm like, I want to marry him. And I just told God. I didn't tell him. I just told
Yeah.
God. I was like, God, I think if I marry him, I'll be the happiest woman on earth. I think I really want to marry him. I told God, I'm like, God, I really want to marry him. And I am. I am. I'm so happy. I love him. He's amazing. Like sometimes it's like 15 years. Sometimes I hear his voice downstairs, like talking to our daughter, and I just get like, ooh, it's so
I
crazy. It's so
love
crazy.
that. I love the way you talk about him. Like because in your videos you'll say, my hubby, or you could just tell that like you're reciprocating, you're lighting up, you're like, yes, in your feminine energy. And this man must be amazing because,
He is.
yeah,
Oh, he's
yeah,
so incredible. He is so incredible. And that's what I always teach, right? Like somebody you like, somebody you feel good around, somebody you
yeah,
respect, somebody you admire. Those are the four things. We need to respect and admire them in order to feel safe receiving from them. We need to feel good
right,
around them. And like you said, stay in our body. Listen, how am I breathing? How am I feeling here? Right? So many women focus on, does he like me? Does he like, no, stay in. How do you feel? Do you like him?
yeah,
Do you
right,
feel good in his presence? Do you
right,
feel safe? Do you feel cared for? Right?
yeah,
So that's another shift we do. It's like when the dating is like not really about them, it's about how are we feeling? What are we going through? What's our
right,
journey through this, right?
right,
So yeah, definitely. So like, respect, love, and admire, and or feel good around and admire. We actually don't have to love
yeah,
them, but it's really. I mean, in the beginning, I'm saying, of course, please marry the guy
yeah,
you love. But I'm saying, like,
right,
in the first few dates, you don't have to love them yet. But definitely
right,
feel good around him, respect him, admire him, and
yeah,
like him.
yeah, yeah,
Because if we don't have those, and he's not a healthy masculine man who wants a relationship, it's not gonna work.
no. No, or we'll be like contorting ourselves into a thing, sacrificing just to
Exactly. And
have
then we
like
won't be in our
less than
power
what
and
we want.
sovereignty, just like you
Yeah.
started off this podcast talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are lots of things going through my head right now, but I'll just pick one to say that I can sense now, and I'm 44. So, I mean, I hope I've graduated some patterns by now, but, but the feeling before, because I've been divorced for 10 years, and there were some significant partners that I am glad that I learned from, but it was hard learning,
Mm-hmm.
and those were kind of rushed. Like, I think the most powerful one, he and I both were like, oh my god, this feels like, it was like moving like a freight train. I mean, and like when a freight train crashes, it fucking crashes, and so that speed with which I said yes to things that were not right, or were not, it was going to be a repeat of the patterns, Um, yeah, I'm just kind of rambling, but 2025. And so my 44th year, I was just like, this is my union year. I want it. I'm claiming it. 44 has always been my union number. And I'm like, and I feel life rearranging to now point in that direction. And there's this sense of love. It's like a divine remembrance of love that has nothing to do with that speed, that has nothing to do with like love at first sight or that adrenaline or like nothing to do with that whatsoever. Like good,
Yeah, because it's divine
real
design. All
love.
that stuff is earth stuff, right? But the divine design love is it doesn't have the earth stuff. The earth stuff works because you need it to work because we have earth bodies in 3D. Like that needs to work, but
Needs
it's
to work.
not it doesn't live in that realm in general.
Well, say more about that because I would say that each of those partners was definitely also divine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm on like I haven't said this recently. I don't know that I actually believe this right now, but I have said multiple times. It's like I've been like clearing everything that wasn't union, and I know that
Mm-hmm.
I've been clearing things with like partners that I had. You could say maybe karma, but like I had past lives with, you know. And I've met them. I've like learned these giant lessons over the past 10 years. It's just been like huge movement of everything that was not union, but that maybe previously I thought was union, right? And I just like
Yeah.
moved out. But so anyway, that to say, they were on that path. I guess it was
Mm-hmm.
the timeline of the moment. Like I had to realize those things and alchemize those things to move on. But yeah, say more about that. Like we're multidimensional. We're like all the dimensions at once. We are the 3D. We live in this world. It's very tangible. I love, hello, human bodies in relationship, right? Like we want the tangible
And sex.
and the sex and the
And sex.
embodiment, like
Because
very
we
good
can.
embodiment. Yes. Like
Uh-huh.
and this divine. So can you speak to us more about the like discerning the whole package?
Well, if it's kind of like what we said in the beginning, it's so funny. I love how this is progressing so beautifully because it really is like if he's not healthy, masculine, and wants a relationship, he can't be your divine masculine.
He's not like it's not going to actualize.
It can't. There's no foundation.
Here's a question I want to ask you.
Okay. Ask me.
We are really aware women. Like we've
Yeah.
been on this path. We're aware, right? Does his practice and awareness have to match my practice and awareness to
I
be this
believe
divine union?
no. I
Okay.
believe no, because that is a big mistake I see a lot of spiritual women make, because we
Yeah.
look for them to express their spirituality and express their awareness and express their spiritual growth the way that we would as the feminine.
Yeah.
But they're very different with it. Theirs is about honor, integrity, whereas ours is about surrender and vulnerability, like receptivity, right? And so the
Yeah.
spiritual paths are so different because that's why we choose different energy bodies, right? And so the divine union blueprint exists, I believe, because I believe in a divine creator. So I believe the divine creator created us with a divine union blueprint in mind,
Yeah.
in right. And so that's the intention, but it has to be grounded in the physical. And how we ground it in the physical is he healthy? Is he masculine? Is he ready? Because he could be the most amazing divine masculine man, but if he's not healthy, healthy or ready, or doesn't want a partner, it doesn't matter. Then it's going to be a
Right.
very toxic relationship if this man doesn't want a partner. But we think he does, or we misinterpret, or we continue to try to convince him, or whatever we do, right?
Right. Right. So do you use the word twin flame. I don't personally use that phrase anymore because I think that there are so many interpretations of that phrase that I just kind of stay away
There's
from it.
so
Right?
many misconstructions. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So do you believe that there is one? Or do you believe that there are many possibilities for who could be your sacred union partner?
Well, I believe there's many possibilities because there's many timelines.
Right.
Right. And so how that all exactly works, I'm not an expert in.
We're not on the level of God right now.
But I do, but I do believe that, absolutely, of course, because we get to create and we can create. And it's like, do you want to create?
Yes.
What do you want to create? Well, I want to create this. Okay, then to create that, you need this, this, and this. So like you said, you said the intention is to create union. 44 is going to be your union year, and everything that's in between you and your being in your power and in your ability and in touch with your creative power enough to create that is going to get cleared away. That's the man ladder.
Yes. It's exciting.
Yeah. You're on your way.
It's exciting. I'm on my way.
You're on your way.
There's I love how this conversation is progressing as well. And I have like a couple of things maybe I didn't ask in that progression. So now I might like bump around a little bit. So I want to go back and talk about feminine submission teachings and contrast that with sovereign power. And I imagine you have a lot to say about that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the submission is a concept that is like the red pill bros have, right? And then they're sort of like, right? Like they're like, they are people like Andrew Tate who call women bitches and see women as gold diggers. And that's something that, yes, in the shadow, right? Like we all have shadows. We all have things that are not like ideally perfect. So yes, that's an expression of feminine, dark feminine, I would say. Just like, sometimes women do treat men like a wallet, or sometimes men do treat women like, just like a one night stand, right? Like these things happen, right?
Yeah.
But that submission concept is short-sighted, because from that point of view, you're looking at it from the 3D, and you're looking at it from the point of who has more power, which is fine. You can live in that world. That's not my world. You can have it over there, right? The submission in the 5D or in the spiritual realm is about trust. Mm-hmm. How much do you trust him? If you trust him a 10 out of 10, that's submission, because you're willing to receive. And I never coach my clients going into any kind of like living together or engagement or marriage if there's not a 10 out of 10 trust. So that's what I would call it. I just call it trust, because of course, when you trust your partner, you're going to, I don't call it submit, but you're going to trust them enough to let them do whatever they need to do for you and for the family and for whatever it is that they're up to, because you trust them.
I love that. Trust 10 out of 10, you receive.
Yeah. So that's the spiritual meaning of submission, in my opinion and experience.
I love that. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
I love when your face lights up. Like you love this more than anything. I love it.
Do. Oh my God, I do. I love it so much. It's so good.
Yeah, it's so needed. Like you said, like this is the blueprint that changes the world. Like this is what we're here for. Yeah. And you've broken it down.
So
and
crazy.
You studied with
say more. It is. It's spiritual and social activism, it really is. I claim that. It's spiritual and social activism. Like I think 1,000%. Any woman who creates a healthy, lasting union and doesn't go by the mainstream ideologies about the masculine and the feminine and what's possible between us, like she's a part of, social and sacred activism.
Yeah. Yeah. And for me, as you say that, I'm like really feeling the path of my heart. Like this whole like journey has landed me so deeply in my heart, which is, I think it's the homecoming for the feminine. Like when we're that, and we're not in, all of like, I've been on this road where we're like, consciously for like 10 years, this feminine and masculine. And I mean, I myself, like, I can analyze it all day, but unless I'm in my heart and practicing, I really have no right to talk about it.
It's true.
It's like, yeah, it's this like homecoming and practice and human relating.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not all these cognitive ideas about what a man or a woman like should be and how we should behave, and yeah, it makes us kind of rigid.
Exactly. I call that partnership over polarity. Partnership over polarity. Polarity is a human
Yeah,
construct. Partnership,
right.
though, is a divine construct.
Yes, yeah. I'm really enjoying how you're like breaking this in like 3D, 5D. Like, you're taking these concepts that we hear so much, and like I think people try to put those concepts in a spiritual language, and it gets really confusing. Like when people
Yes.
try to make polarity spiritual, and you're a like submission domination is not spiritual, it's a power play, like you said, and then you just put it into the 5D, into the heart space for us.
Yeah. That's it.
Yes,
I mean, if you're a master, you better simplify the hard shit. You better know
that's
how to
right.
break it down because isn't that what masters are supposed to do?
Yeah,
Isn't
you're
that
a
what we're supposed to
master.
do? Right? Like, it's so
Yes.
funny. I had a teaching job here in Hungary the first year I taught English because I had to get like my paperwork and all that. So I taught part time at the school. And
Mm.
so many of my friends were like, I don't know why. They're like, but Hungarian schools are not good, not good. I was like, really? Why? So I went and I like did my teaching thing. And because I'm a teacher, I'm a teacher and a healer.
At
Right.
heart,
And so
yeah,
I went
me
in
too.
and I did my teaching. And I remember it was so crazy because the class, like, I taught them a lesson. I taught them like a thing. And then the other teacher that I worked with came and he's like, they learned it. And I was like,
Yeah.
yes, that's our job. We're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to teach. He was like so
Yeah.
shocked that they learned it because they have this
Funny.
weird like academic thing here where it's like, I think I've lived in a lot of countries and it's like every country has its own flavor of weirdness, but here it's like you're supposed to go home and learn it and school is for I don't know what.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know. I do not know. I didn't go to school here. I can't speak. But it's like that moment in that school of like, how come they actually learned it? It's like, yeah, that's my job. Like that, that's what I hope I can do is
Literally.
is help
Yeah.
people learn it. That's what I'm
Yeah.
doing here. That's what I'm up to, Sarah.
That's right. Yeah. And like you really want to help women discern and like
Yeah.
select. That's what I'm feeling this word select. Like,
Yes.
yeah. And not just like be selected. Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
not just be selected.
I was selected a couple of times, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm being selected. And I
And that's so
wasn't,
flattering, right? We forget that
right. We
the
want
end goal
that.
is being cherished and,
Oh,
being in a
yes.
sacred union. Being selected isn't enough. And the thing is, with the
Mm-mm.
feminine and the masculine, we actually are the selectors. It's
Right.
biology, it's chemistry, it's spirituality. I know in Native American cultures that was cultural practice, right? But I really think it's true. I think it's true from personal experience and from professional experience, and I see it over and over that we as a feminine select because healthy masculine men respond to the feminine, right? Like they
Yes.
want to provide, they want to protect, they want to take care, healthy. Okay, this isn't all men, this is healthy masculine men. I think it's about 50-50, healthy men and unhealthy men. Even on dating apps, a lot of women are like, oh, but I don't find any good men. It's like, yeah, there's a definitely the junkie people, but there's also great men. So that's the selecting you're talking about, right? Is
Right.
understanding how does the healthy masculine energy show up. And it's not the profile, it's not the things that we tend to look at, which is again, like you said, 2 years down the wrong path because
Right.
he looked good on paper, he looked good on the profile, but the energetics wasn't there. She didn't like him, she didn't respect him, she didn't feel good around him, right?
Yeah.
So that's the selecting, is like understanding what what that is. Like, why do we need that? Because if we're not selecting, then we're in the wrong relationship. And then we're in this, I mean, it's huge, right? Then we end up with kids from the partner that wasn't the right partner, that we didn't even select. And then that's a lifelong connection that, had we just known we could select, we may not have gone down that path.
Yeah.
But again, right, the mainstream, where do we learn this? We do not learn this. We should be learning this in school, but we don't get taught this. I go down a lot of rabbit holes, and, some people might call me a conspiracy theorist, but I think it's intentional. I think, like a lot of things, we don't learn about health. We don't learn about finances. Why? Right? This is one of those things that we are not taught on purpose, I believe, because divine union empowers us, and we're way less controllable, because we're synergizing now. We're empowered, and it takes our sovereignty to create a sacred union. You can't be in sacred union if you're not in your power. You're not creating it. You're not there. It's being done to you. You're not creating it.
Right. Yeah. And then, you're like struggling for life force and your power, and everything's skewed. In those energetics. Yeah. Very powerful. Yeah. Amazing. Okay. Well, I have one more question that I am aware of, and then anything else you want to share before we wrap up.
I think that's good. Let's do one more and end, because I feel like we gave a lot of really deep things, and I don't want to overwhelm and overdo, because there's enough here for probably somebody, if we listen 3 or 4 times, they would get layers and layers and layers of
so many
next
layers.
thing.
Okay, right? Good. I'm glad you feel like that, because this question is not the the far end of the sacred union spectrum. This is a genuine curiosity that I have been mulling over about the men folk on the dating app. So it's a fun question.
Okay.
And I want to get your opinion on it. So I've turned on Facebook dating, turned it off, turned it on a couple times, and I'm looking at the men. And it is so fascinating to me how many men name in their profile the word adventure. They're looking for adventure. They want adventure. They want the adventure partner. They're all talking about adventure. And actually, how this man and I started talking was because I was like, all right, I got to ask you this question. Tell me, this is this fascinating phenomenon to me. So I have a couple of theories, but I would love to hear what you think. Why are men talking about adventure in a dating profile? What is this saying?
I think, and my mentor, Allison Armstrong, how she taught about this is that adventure is a masculine need, and it makes sense, because if you think about it, if you are an energy being that is generating, right, that is moving forward, that is looking to create, that is looking to establish, you will, adventure is, you need that. That's called adventure. Right? A and B, the masculines, and this is the biochem nerd coming out, right? Those challenges, those problems that are for them adventures, right? That stimulates dopamine. That actually stimulates very nourishing brain chemicals for their biochemistry as a man, like testosterone, dopamine, right? Whereas for us as the feminine, that could be stressful. That could be stressful. Right. We might create adrenaline, we might create cortisol, right? So it's just that masculine, feminine energetic of the masculine expresses itself in adventure. That's the energy of it. It's masculinizing. If we were going to make being masculine a verb, and we were going to say masculinizing, I would say masculinizing is participating in adventures and creating adventures and going forward towards adventures. Okay.
So they're saying, I want to be masculine, and they're saying, I want an adventure partner. So what I started talking with this man about was okay, I hear you that you want adventure, but also that's adrenaline for me. And I need the trust, the regulation, before I'm adventuring. it's like a both and thing. So this is just kind of this theme that's carrying through. So what I did was we were talking. We went out like for dinner and a walk, the first time, and then that morning, my neighbor had told me about seeing a sunrise with her granddaughter, and like she had gone to this new place. And so I asked him if he had gone to this place, and he said he hadn't, but he had already mentioned that one adventure that he likes is like climbing mountains and watching sunrises. And so I was like, so there is this place, you know. So I invited an adventurer to this mountain that he hadn't been with. So I was like, okay, I'm participating in your adventuring, but I don't know, this one's kind of a low key. So
I see what you're saying. You don't have to work that hard. Even just them taking us out on a date is an adventure for them.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, these men.
I mean, it's beautiful that you partnered with him and his interests that way.
Okay.
And it's okay if you just took on like, well, just getting to know me is an adventure. Well, just doing life with me is an adventure. Well, just the fact that we went for a walk and he didn't go for a walk with anybody else here before is an adventure. Like for them, it's that simple. It's not really like we're the feminine, right? So we're so like diffuse awareness and we're so like tapped into so many multi-layered things at the same time. So we think adventure for them looks the way it would look for us. But no, it can just literally be like, oh, we went to a new restaurant.
Okay. Because these men on the dating profile, it's so funny. Like they're posting pictures of themselves like skydiving and they're talking about adventure. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to skydive. And so actually he said to me, like, in this adventure conversation, initially he's like, what's one adventure that you would like to be on that you've never gone? I was like, committed partnership, amazing partnership. Like that's my adventure.
That's an adventure for
that
sure.
I want.
Yes.
Yeah, like replenishing partnership.
I want that adventure too, and I love having that adventure. And sometimes it's not an adventure. Sometimes it's like, oh, are you serious? We're doing this again. But then, you move through that and you go to the next thing and you're doing life together. And yeah, it is an adventure. It's amazing. But yeah, it's simpler. It's simpler than how we see it. Like, because they like skydiving, it's not like, oh, we have to go skydiving with them. It's not like that. It's like they're just asserting their masculinity by having adventures, and they want us to know that because that's how they're asserting their masculinity. It's kind of like women, right? Like we write these profiles. It's hilarious because if you come into and you get, probably you'll link the right guy checklist below, right? But if you get that, I have like this 4-sentence thing that I recommend that you put on a dating profile, which is very simple, very dumb, very shallow, very pisses women off because like we're so creative and we want to write everything up in flowery language and talk about our passions and our embodiedness and all of these things. It's like men do not care yet. Okay, they don't care when they're going through the like just for that. Just give him his brain is looking for information. He wants to know, is she tall, is she short, is she single, does she have kids, what is she, like, right? Like they're very practical. And so it's kind of like that idea, like we think an adventure is like such a multi-layered thing, but I think it's very straightforward for them.
Yeah.
Like, does that make sense? Like they just because they're posting skydive photos, it's almost like, you know what it is? It's almost like a peacocking energy, the skydiving photo. It's not so much, oh, I'm posting this photo because you better be the girl who's going to come do that with me. No. I'm not a healthy masculine man. It's more like he's posting that photo to be like, look what I did.
Yeah. And I get that. And yeah, a lot of them are naming that they want adventure partners. Like they want to know. So I think that that's maybe maybe that's a subconscious thing. Like they like adventuring and maybe they want to know it's okay, or maybe they want to do these things. Like I get the sense that this man wants to go on adventures.
I think in the way men mean it isn't going scuba diving in a cave, right? Like I think they just mean going to a new restaurant.
Okay, I will clarify.
like it's the masculine language versus the feminine language. Like
Yeah.
they when they use that word, it's not how we use that word necessarily.
Yeah. Okay. All
It's the
right.
same with that little like blurb. I have women, right? It's like, yeah,
Right.
because it's in Manglish. That's in Manglish.
Right. Okay, I maybe need that like lesson. So where let's talk about where women can find you because they want to
Yeah.
date for purpose. They want to climb the ladder
And
without too
get
much
to sacred
drama. They just like
union and
want to get to
create
sacred
sacred.
union.
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
emilianagi.com or not emilianaj.com is my website. So you can, of course, get in touch with me from there. Probably somewhere here, there'll be a link to my Right Guy checklist, which is the one that I love
Yeah.
giving women because it's just the method, my magical man method, like spelled out step by step by step. And it's
Great.
very stupid simplicity, but also very important distinctions that what we just don't know. We don't think of it that way. We don't think of dating that way. And that's why it
Right.
just simplifies things so much. And it's crazy because my clients are meeting their guys. I mean, I have multiple clients who have met their guy on the first date, Sarah. First date, second date, third date. The average is about 7 dates using my method.
That's amazing.
I
Amazing.
know. I went on like freaking 500 dates.
Yeah.
Right, because I didn't know, and that's how come I have this method now, because it was tried and tested, like all the pieces, like all the little
Yeah.
components of it. So yeah, it works really well because it's just very precise. It's very precise. So if a woman wants to create a sacred union and wants to not waste time on the dating apps, and it is about dating apps, because right now that's the majority, like
Yeah.
65% of us meet our partners on a date. Like my husband found me on Craigslist when we used to
Wow.
have, do you remember when we used to have Craigslist
No.
personals?
No. But
Oh,
I can
okay. It was like
imagine.
this
Yeah.
site where you could like post, sites that post like for sale, or like
Yeah.
for rent. Well, this Craigslist thing used to have for sale, for rent, and personals.
Yeah.
So I had
You're
an
like
ad.
putting
I
out a
had
personal
posted,
ad. Yeah.
yeah, and I had put an ad in there like European and feminine, looking for partner, and he thought it was good, and he emailed or messaged me, responded, and that's how it all started.
Beautiful. Yeah. When you've climbed the ladder, you're an energetic match for it. He's there.
I think so.
Yeah.
I see it all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. So
Yeah.
EMILIANAGY.com.
Yes.
Yeah. Beautiful. And the right guy method. Is that what it is?
The Right Guy checklist. Yeah.
The right guy checklist.
Yes.
Yes.
Because it's like the things that you need to be thinking about and paying attention to, rather than the things
Yeah.
that women tend to pay attention to that end them up in 4 years of dating drama.
Yes. Thank you
Although
for
the
sharing
things
your
that
expertise.
yeah, thank you for having me. It was so great to meet you. It was so fun to share. And
I'm
thank
so
you
glad that you
for
said
being
yes.
such an amazing interviewer.
Wonderful. Yeah, this is one of the final episodes of the Sacred Remembering podcast. It's wild, but my next things are calling me, so I'm going to miss it, but I love conversations like this, so this is what I'm going to miss.
Yay.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
All right. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everyone. All right. Much love.
Bye.